Welcome back. With the end of the Cold War, some top reps of the elder generation in this country were very much afraid that we might go a little bit too far down the road of westernization and the bourgeoisie impact upon the formation of the historic outlook of the young people may indicate the undoing of the country's future. And this has worried a lot. This has worried the Chinese leadership very much as we had the political upheavals. Do you think we should still embrace the zero-sum game? The Eastern and the Western values are mutually exclusive. What do you think of the mindset of the elder generation?
I think that people realize we are living in a one world. We have one dream, and then it's
one world, one dream.
Yeah,
the world will be united behind the banner next year, the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing, right?
Yeah, because we have the one Earth that we cannot escape from. So people have to live in harmony, and then we got to live to cope with each other and live in peaceful coexistence. Mm-hmm. So I think as China has adopted the market economy, to some extent, some of the value that naturally you adopted. For example, you stress for efficiency. Of course, you're also looking for fairness, and you're also looking for the society that really meets all the sectors and all the different groups of the people's interests. So I think today the priority for China is really to get the values established among itself, the traditional Chinese value, the good values, but at the same time learn the best values from over the world, and also that we become open, but on the other hand we do not restrict ourselves.
You mean nationalities and different ethnic groups are coming to be more interdependent in the age of globalization, right?
Exactly.
Particularly with the growing penetration of satellite and the flow of information from the West. Now, Thomas, what do you think of the Western label about China's ideology? They still call China Communist China or Red China. Now, given the rise of the middle-income families and the formation of what is called the middle class, given the protection of a private ownership that's enshrined in our new constitution, given our very deep integration into the international economic order, can China still be called such a ideological society?
Absolutely not, I think. Yeah.
Are you saying this label is too much ideologically charged and politically charged?
That's absolutely right.
Is it close to the facts?
No, because there's something evolving, something completely different, and I think we should think deeply about this. What this is, it's not real the open economy. Yeah, it's also not this communism ideology. There's something evolving, something very new, I think, and this we should have a closer look at.
We are currently at the primary stage of socialist development, according to Premier Wen Jiabao, and he delivered this famous article prior to the opening of this year's annual session of the NPC, the National People's Congress, and a lot of Western correspondents raised the questions about the implications of his article, which says basically the primary stage of our social development or primary stage of socialism in China will continue for yet another perhaps 50 or 100 years. And Tom and Harry, what are your interpretations about the understatement of his article?
Which I think that the Premier Wen's statement, I interpret that as which means the basic the socialist form, which we're still lasting for a long time, and which means that we are still going to in a primary stage, of the socialist stage, whereas the end of the communist ideology that everything is to each needs according to each wish. It's no longer it could not be realized that soon. So I think that we are still in a very basic stage, and we still need to work on the market reforms, or use market mechanism, and we're going to adopt the Western and whatever human mankind has accumulated the best the theory and the practice for the construct the Chinese economy.
Tom.
I think what China could focus or should focus also to help this the young generation is more to we've heard actually about this market economy. I think parallel we have to look at this building up social networks. The young generation feel very lost in some kind of sense, and they feel they don't have any network anymore. Of course, they have the family. That's a very important thing still. But with this economy, they are free. They have their personal freedom. They want to enjoy this, but they feel very insecure and yeah.
Let's look at a very famous social phenomena. 愤青 in Chinese it refers to the angry generation. They don't have a sense of belonging to Chinese traditional values, and they don't identify themselves with the Chinese culture. What is your opinion about this very interesting social phenomenon? 愤青, are they really angry about the social reality?
Well, I think the Fenqin, I think the got originated in the 1980s. I would interpret there's quite a lot of them are probably lost generation, because you remember in the 1980s when people are coming back from the countryside, from when some people get chances to go to the university, while a lot of people don't have the chances. Well, as the income gap gradually widens up, and so there's a lot of young people really gets angry about that. I mean, they probably get also don't care about anything anymore, and they feel that they are neglected, and they feel they are very have a lot of frustration about. So that's probably a phenomenon original at that time, but then carried on probably to today to some extent, which means that there's a lot of young people don't care. And sometimes get very angry about inequality, and we particularly see that in the internet.
What about the bobos, bourgeois and bohemians? They started to show their influence in China in the late 1990s, and some say, in short, that they are the cultural consequences of the age of information. Henry, what do you make of this assumption?
I think the bourgeoisies and the bohemians are quite true. I mean, that's happening. That's probably with the information age, with the affluence of the society, and then there's emerging a new class of younger generation where they are relatively well off, they are relatively creative, and they are well informed. They are surfs on the internet, and they are adopting new lifestyle, and so that has actually happening. And then there seems there's a growing numbers of people like that. I mean, I happen to know some people like that, because they really interested in the new fashion, new style, new creating of they enjoy arts. You know, they enjoy a good lifestyle.
Well, despite the shades of the differences that characterize the values in the East and the West, that characterize different schools of thoughts in this country, LOHAS, the short name for lifestyles of health and sustainability, this phrase comes to China recently. It means the younger generation or a group of young people care so much about their health, about the environment, and about the sustainability of our way of life. They are called LOHAS. In Chinese, they are called happy living or 乐活族. We have different 族 groups. And LOHAS talks a lot about climate change, the environment, and sustainability. You look very much like a rep of LOHAS. Is that the case?
Hopefully, yes.
What is your thought about LOHAS?
I think, exactly here you find this Eastern philosophy again. It's Buddhism, to live in harmony with the nature. It's Lao Tse Taoism, and I think this is the reformulation of old traditional values now again in a modern context. And I think this could be the way, really to look what are the old values here, and how we can transfer them in the modern world. And Laos is exactly this outcome, this very positive outcome.
Thank you for your love for the traditional